Thanks for joining our special live coverage of South Korea's 29th cabinet meeting of this year. In just a moment, we'll head over to the presidential office in Yongsan, where President Yoon Suk-yeol will preside over today's meeting. The president is expected to address the monsoon situation here in the country and lay out recovery plans. He will also brief the public on the recent Euro trip, which included a surprise visit to Ukraine. Now, the meeting has just begun. Let's take a listen.
We will begin the 29th State Cabinet meeting. A record heavy rainfall caused a big damage. During my visit to Europe, I took care of the situation in real time. And yesterday, right after the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure Headquarters meeting, I visited the site of the landslide in Yecheon. And as the president, I am very heavy-hearted. I pray for the souls of the victims and pay my deepest condolences to the bereaved families and all who have been harmed. At today's cabinet meeting, we will discuss the damage situation from the heavy rainfall and the recovery support for it. The government will mobilize all available resources for rescue and recovery operations, as well as victim assistance, and we will make progress promptly. Speed up our support, and as soon as possible, we are to declare the disastrous places as special disaster zone, and we are going to use all efforts and budget of the government that could be mobilized. During the heavy rainfall, there were a lot of landslides. And yesterday, I went to the landslide damage site in Yecheon. And for the last 2 weeks, the entire mountain was soaked with rainwater due to relentless rain. And when it reached its limit, the soil at the top of the mountain collapsed, and hundreds of rocks hit the old tree and swept down the village several kilometers away. And it resulted in a big landslide. For about 4 to 5 kilometers, these rocks, there were hundreds of these rocks that hit the village, and we could feel the influence and the impact. It was something that we have never experienced before. And myself, I think it's the first time that I have witnessed such disaster myself. So we have to change fundamentally how we respond to such disaster. And the climate change we're experiencing extreme climate change. In Japan, we have seen more than 400 millimeters of heavy rainfall, and in India, we are seeing the worst water crisis in 45 years. And on the other hand, in the US and Europe, they are experiencing unusual heat waves. And in eastern Canada, they are plagued by wildfires. And even in Korea, the rainy season is not over yet. However, the rainfall, the precipitation has been 145% more than the average. So, with this unprecedented weather crisis, we can't respond in the way that we have done so far. We cannot live with the perception that we can't help it because it's a natural disaster. This cannot be anymore. We need a digital monitoring system that could work systematically. The central and local governments should collaborate across the government level and have experts participating. And with the precipitation information and the tide information, the tide cycle information,
어떻게 변하는지
we
디지털
have to have a
시뮬레이션을
digital
해야 하고
simulation
이는
as to
제가
how the
작년
water
홈스
system
때부터
of waterways
강조한
are changing. And
그러므로서
this is something that
정부의
I have been
모든
emphasizing since last year.
데이터를 실시간으로 공유하고
So all the departments in the government
안전 조치를
should have relevant data in real time and have a real-time information sharing
모든 관계
so that we have
부처와
a preemptive
지자체는
safety measures.
장마가 완전히
All
끝날
relevant
때까지
ministries and local
한순간도
governments
긴장의
should
끈을
never let go of
놓지 말아야 합니다.
the tension and should
첫째도
be
국민 안전,
resilient.
둘째도 국민 안전이라는 것을 명심해 주시기
First
바랍니다.
and second should be public
특히
safety. We have to keep this in
집중
mind.
호우로
In particular,
침수 위험이
with
있는
the heavy rainfall,
저지대의 출입 통제와
we have
선제적
to look
대피에
at
만전을
the
기해 주시기
vulnerable
바랍니다.
areas, and we will do our best. Please do your best
경찰,
in terms of controlling and taking preemptive
산림청
actions in these
기관장들은
areas. Heads of
각
local
기관,
governments, police,
모든
firefighting,
부서의
and forestry
인적 자원을
agencies should
총동원하십시오.
mobilize all human resources in
국민의
their
안전이
respective
경각에
departments.
놓여 있는 비상 상황입니다.
This is an emergency situation in which the safety of the people is at stake. We have the military mobilized,
재난으로
right?
인한 국민의 눈물을 닦아드리는데
The
적극적으로 사용되어야 합니다.
people,
이권 카르텔, 부패
the tax
카르텔에
that
대한
is paid by the
보조금을
people should be used
전부 폐지하고
to wipe out the
그
tears
재원으로
of the people. The
수해
subsidies
복구와
to concession
피해
cartels and corruption cartels
재정을
should
투입해야
be
됩니다.
abolished, and these funds should all be used
지난
to
일주일 동안
the restoration and damage
순간에서
compensation work.
나토 다자회의,
Last week,
나토 참가
I was
13개국
on a state visit to the
양자
European
정상회담,
countries in the
폴란드
Eastern
공식
Europe,
방문,
the NATO
우크라이나
multilateral summit,
여러
and
외교
we
일정을
took
소화하고 어제 새벽에
bilateral summits with 13 NATO member countries.
작년
And I
마드리드에서 열린 나토
arrived back
정상회의에서
home yesterday early in the morning.
글로벌
At the
안보
NATO
위기에
summit in
대한
Madrid last year,
공동의 인식과 자유의 연대를 구축했다면은
there was a
올해
common
나토
consensus
회원국과
of the international
아시아
security
태평양
crisis.
파트너국들이
And this year, the NATO member
함께
countries and
추진할
Asia-Pacific
보다
partners
실질적인
discussed more
협력
practical
방안을
ways
이번에는
to
논의했습니다.
cooperate
특히
together.
우리 정부는
In particular, the
나토와
South Korean government,
개별 맞춤형
together with
파트너십
NATO,
프로그램을
we concluded an
체결해서
individually
테러,
tailored partnership program,
신흥
ITPP,
기술,
in order
사이버
to tackle
11개
counterterrorism,
분야에서
non-proliferation,
한국과
emerging
나토의
technologies,
협력의
cyber,
틀을
etc. I
제도화했습니다.
believe that this institutionalized a
나토의
framework for
군사
Korea-NATO
정보 공유
cooperation.
시스템인
And NATO's military information sharing system, BISIS, we decided to
이를
join
계기로
this system. And with
한국과
this,
나토 간의
the information
정보
sharing
공유를
between Korea
한층
and NATO
확대하고
will be further expanded,
상호
and
안보
the
현안에 대한 보다 신속한
cooperation
공조를
and promotion of mutual security
나토와의
issues
사이버 안보
will
협력
widen
역시
its scope.
강화해 나갈
The
것입니다.
cybersecurity cooperation with
앞으로
NATO will also be
대한민국이
strengthened.
설치할
So as going
국제 사이버
forward,
훈련 센터를
the International Cyber Training Center that will be established in
활동과
Korea
연계시켜
will be
사이버상 테러와
correlated with the
각종
NATO
불법
Cyber Defense
활동을
Center so that
차단하고
we can block and
퇴치하는 데
eradicate
역량을
all
모을 것입니다.
cyber terrorism and illegal
나토
activities.
회원국들이
NATO members
북한의
condemned Korea's
ICBM
ICBM
규탄하고
launch,
AP4
and
아태
AP4
파트너국들이
Asia-Pacific partner countries
불법성을 지적한
pointed
것은
out the
유럽과
illegality of the war in
대서양과
Ukraine.
태평양의 안보가
And this
따로 구분될
means
수
that the
없다는
security
것을
of Europe,
보여주고
Asia,
있습니다.
the Atlantic, and the Pacific
나토
cannot be
회의가 진행
separated.
중이던 지난 12일
On the 12th, last
북한이
week, while the NATO meeting
ICBM을
was taking
발사했습니다.
place, North Korea launched an
즉시
ICBM.
나토 회원국,
And
아태
I
파트너국들과
immediately
대북 안보 공조
worked together with the
강화
NATO
방안을
members
논의했고
and Asia-Pacific partners to strengthen
불법
security
활동을
cooperation
차단하고
and to stop
인권
North
문제를
Korea's
다뤄
illegal
나가는데
activities
한층
and to
긴밀히
deal with
공조하기로
North Korean
했습니다.
human rights issues. And we decided to
이번
cooperate
나토
closely on
정상회의
these issues.
공동성명에서
In the joint
북한의
statement of this
미사일 프로그램을
year's NATO
규탄하고
summit, we condemned North
북한의
Korea's
도발을
nuclear missile
결코
program,
용납하지
and
않겠다는
we
국제사회의
made
엄중한
a stern
경고를
warning that North
했습니다.
Korean provocations should never
오늘
be
용산
tolerated.
대통령실에서
And today,
조금
at
전부터
the
시작된
Yongsan Presidential
제1차
Office, just a while ago,
핵
the
협의
first
그룹 회의는
ROK-US Nuclear Consultative Group
강력하고
meeting
실효적인
began just
한미
a while
확장
ago,
구축하는
and we believe
중요한
this is
출발점이 될
a
것입니다.
very important starting point in terms of
핵
building a
기반의
stronger and
새로운
effective
패러다임으로
ROK-US
업그레이드된
extended deterrence.
한미 동맹을
Through the
통해
ROK-US alliance
북한의
that is upgraded to a new
미사일
nuclear-based
위협을
paradigm, we will
원천적으로
make
봉쇄하기
substantial
위한
efforts to
실체적인
fundamentally
노력들을
block
전개해
North Korea's
나갈 것입니다.
nuclear missile threats.
우크라이나 전쟁은
And the war in
작년에
Ukraine,
이어 올해 나토
from last
정상회의에서도
year onwards, this was an important point of issue that should be discussed at this NATO's summit.
주권을 빼앗으려는 무력 침공이
An armed invasion
용인된다면
to deprive
지금까지
another
어렵게
country's sovereignty, killing civilians and children, if this is tolerated, the norm-based international order that has been upheld until now would collapse. Through this visit, I took this chance to visit Ukraine.
항공편 또
The
여러 시간에 걸친
flights
11시간에
and
우크라이나에서
endless
제공한
road trip
열차를
and 11 hours of railway.
방문한 다소
took
위험하고 험난한
a very
길이었지만
long time, as well as a
대통령으로서
dangerous journey to
우리 국민을
visit
대표해서
Ukraine.
우크라이나
But as the
국민에게
President of the Republic
연대와
of Korea,
희망의 메시지를
I
전하고
wanted to
싶었습니다.
deliver a message of solidarity and hope to the people of Ukraine on behalf of the Korean people.
무너져 내린 건물 잔해와 남녀노소를 가리지 않고
My heart
고문과 학살을 당한
broke when I went
참혹한
to the ruins of the
현장을
buildings that were
직접
bombed and
봤습니다.
collapsed and saw the horrific
특히
scenes where men and women of all
러시아군에
ages were
납치돼
tortured and massacred.
학대를 받다가
In particular,
가까스로 제3국을 통해 탈출해 와서
after being kidnapped by the Russian army and being abused, the
인권보호센터의
Children's Human Rights
어린이들
Protection Center
미래
children
세계의
at this
꿈까지
center
아사하는 전쟁의 참상과 야만성에 대해
showed
돌아보게 만들었습니다.
what the war has inflicted on the people and the
러시아군이 퇴각하면서
psychological
우크라이나의
treatment.
민간 거주 지역
As
곳곳에
the Russian army
내설한
retreated,
지뢰는
the landmines
우크라이나
buried
국민의
in the
일상을 공포로
residential
몰아넣고
areas in
있었습니다.
Ukraine, they are a
심지어
big fear to the Ukrainian
러시아는
people.
퇴각하면서
Even while retreating,
우크라이나
Russia
어린이 놀이터에까지
laid
지뢰를 매설해
landmines in
두어서
even children's
어린이
playgrounds
보호를 위한
in Ukraine.
지뢰 탐지
And
강아지도
minesweeper
동원되고
dogs
있었습니다.
were also mobilized to
저는
protect and
우크라이나 국민이
protect the children and
완전히
detect the
자유를 되찾는
landmines.
날까지
I
함께하겠다고
promised, I pledged
약속했습니다.
that I will stand with the
자유와
Ukrainian people
인권을
until they
사랑하는
restore their freedom.
우리 국민들께서도
I believe that our people
함께
who also
지지해 주시고
support the
동참해
freedom
주실 것이라고
the
믿습니다.
mankind, and I am in
73년 전
very strong belief that
북한의
our
침공을
people
받고
will support.
나라를 송두리째
73
빼앗길
years
뻔한
ago,
우리는 유엔군이
We were
즉각
invaded by
달려와준
North
덕분에
Korea, and
우리의 자유를
our
지킬
sovereignty
수 있었습니다.
was about to be taken away
가장
entirely,
힘들 때
but the UN forces
국제사회가
made an
내밀어준
immediate
손길이
arrival, and thanks to them,
얼마나
we were able
소중하고
to
고마운
keep
것인지
our freedom.
잘 아는 우리 국민은
And so, our
도움이
people know
필요로
very
하는
well
곳에
how precious and grateful the
기꺼이
international
찾아가
community's
책임 있게
support
기여해야 된다는
is.
생각을 가지실 것이라고
And I
저는
believe
믿습니다.
that we have the willingness and we have the deep understanding of how important the international aid is
우크라이나
for a
평화
war-stricken
이니셔티브를 발표했습니다.
country.
안보 지원, 인도 지원,
During the meeting with President Zelensky, the Ukraine Peace Initiative was announced, and security assistance, humanitarian assistance, and reconstruction assistance are the important points of Ukrainian support program. For security assistance, we will materialize the Defense Industry Cooperation Initiative to contribute to strengthening Ukraine's post-war defense capability. And in terms of humanitarian assistance, this is about the landmine detection facility that we will send in addition, and also this includes the medical support plan for psychological treatment for the children. As for reconstruction support, this is about the infrastructure projects, the plan of the Korean companies that will participate in Ukraine, and we will expand and materialize the government-level grant for these programs. In addition, with the Ukrainian students, the digital equipment and program will be supported, and the support will be expanded. Poland and South Korea, Ukrainian governments, reconstruction cooperation was agreed as a trilateral cooperation system. In Poland, the Ukrainian Reconstruction Cooperation Conference, at this conference, together with the Korean companies, the small modular nuclear power plant, airport reconstruction, railroad vehicles, and IT, these various infrastructure projects were discussed. The government would like the Korean businesses to safely go and come out from Ukraine and enable smooth operation in the area of project. And the areas where urgent need is needed in terms of schools, hospitals, and water and sewage, I urge the related ministries to devise support plans. To this end, we will increase the official development assistance and external economic cooperation fund, and we must preemptively prepare measures to participate and support the reconstruction project in Ukraine. And in the near future, the entrepreneurs seeking to participate in the reconstruction project in Ukraine, I look forward to be able to visit Ukraine of these people and the related ministries, fellow citizens. Diplomacy is an extension of domestic politics, and in diplomacy, security and economy should go hand in hand. NATO members and partner countries, together with them, strengthening the global security cooperation with them is the strengthening of economic cooperation with these countries. The relationship of cooperation in life and death situation means that we must cooperate in the economic field as well. Republic of Korea, that has built a nuclear-based security alliance with the United States, we are striving to promote high-level, high-tech cooperation between Korea and the U.S., and this is an example, I believe. And as a NATO observer, I met a delegation of 6 U.S. senators who were in Lithuania, and they are working together on security cooperation with South Korea through
글로벌
NATO,
안보의 지평을 넓히는 것은
and South Korea
우리의 경제
that
지평을
will
확장하는 것입니다.
expand
수출
our
시장과
landscape
해외 진출을 확대하는 것이고
into
해외 자본의
NATO,
국내
and
투자를
it also
촉진하는
means
것입니다.
that we are facilitating the
그리고 이는
investment of foreign
모두
investments to
우리
Korea.
국민의 일자리 창출과
And this all
증대로
results in
이어지는
the
것입니다.
employment and job creation
지난주
as
나토
well
정상회의
as
기간 동안
national wealth.
나토의
During the NATO
회의에
summit last
참가한
week,
13개 나라와 가진 양자
we had a meeting
정상회담을
with
통해
13 participating
유럽의 주요
countries,
국가들과
and
첨단
through
산업
bilateral
공급망
summits
협력,
with
기술
major
협력을
European
강화했습니다.
countries, we strengthened the high-tech industry
네덜란드에서는
supply chain
ASML
and technological
반도체
cooperation.
노광 장비 제조 공장
And
투자를
in Netherlands, ASML,
핵심 광물이
the
풍부한
company
스웨덴,
ASML,
포르투갈, 핀란드와는
requested an investment in
전기차,
semiconductor
배터리
equipment
공급망
manufacturing
협력
plant.
방안을 논의했습니다.
And we also discussed ways to
유럽의
cooperate in
첨단
electric
기술 공급
vehicles
R&D
and battery supply chain with
유레카를
Sweden,
기반으로
Portugal,
기술
and
협력을
Finland.
확대해 나갈 것을
And they are rich in core minerals.
노르웨이와는
It was also proposed to
신재생
expand
에너지
technological
국국
cooperation with
개발
Hungary based on Eureka, a joint
식수지
R&D
기술
platform.
공동 개발 등
With Norway,
첨단
renewable
IT
energy
기술
and
협력
Arctic
강화 방안을
development
논의했습니다.
cooperation was discussed.
루마니아는
And with Romania,
국회 최대 항만 개발 사업에 한국
the
기업의
Black
참여를
Sea's largest port development project is
이번에 우리와 양자 회담을 가진
in progress, and they
정상들의
were
대부분은
inviting Korean companies to
대한민국의
participate.
무기 체계와
Many of the leaders who
원자력
had
기술
bilateral
제공을
talks with us this
바라고 있었습니다.
time, they wanted to
신규 원전 도입
provide
계획을
Korea's
가지고
nuclear
있는
system,
슬로바키아, SMR 도입을 추진
and
중인
they wanted
헝가리,
Korea's
루마니아, 스웨덴
nuclear
정상에게
technology as
한국
well.
원전 기술의
Slovakia,
우수성을
which has
알려주고
plans to introduce
그
nuclear
협력
power
방안을
plants,
제안했습니다.
and
또한
they
노르웨이,
came
루마니아,
up
헝가리,
with
슬로바키아,
these plans,
에스토니아, 리투아니아
and
정상과는
Hungary, Romania,
방산 협력을 중점적으로
and Slovakia and Estonia, as well as Lithuania, we had discussions
나토
focused on
회의에
cooperation in the
참가한 후
defense industry.
공식 방문한
In
폴란드는
particular, in Poland,
우리와
that I
방산,
made an official visit
원자력
to,
분야에
hope to establish
장기간에 걸친
a long-term
파트너십을
partnership with us
맺길
in the
희망했습니다.
fields of defense
이번
and nuclear
한국
power.
폴란드 정상회담
And
계기에
in the
정부
occasion
간에
of
체결한
Korea-Poland summit,
무역
we
투자 촉진 프레임워크와
signed a TIPF as well as the Transportation Infrastructure Development MOU, and these MOUs will further advance the level of economic cooperation between the two countries.
그 자체로
Poland in itself
우리에게
is an
중요한
important
경제협력 파트너입니다.
economic cooperation partner.
유럽에서
And
내수 시장만 6위에
they
있는
are
국가입니다.
the sixth
그렇지만
largest economy
그뿐만
in
아니라
Europe. And
우리
moreover,
대한민국의 유럽 시장 진출에
they
전략적
will
교두보이자
be a strategic
우크라이나 재건
bridgehead for
협력의
the Korean
허브이기도
companies to enter the European
폴란드에는
market.
전기차
And in
배터리,
Poland,
가전,
electric
자동차,
vehicle batteries,
부품
home
분야는
appliances, and automobile
350여
parts.
개 우리 기업들이 진출해 있습니다.
These are the areas where more than
이번에
350
폴란드
Korean
순방 중
companies are operating in
양국
Poland.
기업과 민간
And
단체 간의
the
33개의
MOUs, 33
잘
MOUs that
활용해서
have been signed this
유럽
time
시장
between companies
수요 변화에
of Poland and private
선제적으로 대응해
organizations.
주시기를 당부드립니다.
I hope that we can utilize this to preemptively respond
저는 이번
to
순방 중에
meeting
기시다
the
총리와도
demand
회담을 가졌습니다.
in the European market.
기시다 총리는
I also
제게
held talks with Japanese Prime Minister
후쿠시마
Kishida
오염수 방류에
and Prime
관해
Minister Kishida
투명하고 신속한 정보
explain
공유와 아울러
that he
방사성
will
물질의 농도가
share transparent
기준치를
and prompt
초과하는 등
information
문제가 발생할
in
경우
the case of discharge of
즉각
Fukushima
방류
contaminated
중단
water,
조치를
and if
취할
any
것이라고
problem occurs,
설명했습니다.
the measures to immediately stop will be
한일 관계가
taken.
정상화되고
Since March
각
this
분야에서
year,
개선되는
Korea and
가운데
Japan relations have been
양국이 앞으로
normalized.
다양한 분야에서 더욱
And the improvements in many of the areas between the two countries are moving forward, and we will be able to further promote cooperation in various fields. Security and economy are inseparable. And through this visit, the expansion of our global security cooperation will be expanded. And I will do my best in doing so. Each ministry will ensure that the various agreements reached during this visit can be systematically and smoothly promoted and do a follow-up on these agreements and activities. In addition, during the visit this time, we made a very fierce diplomatic activities in terms of calling for Busan Expo. And we did this very vigorously. And during my visit, I held meetings with many leaders and appeal for support for the hosting of Busan Expo. Busan Expo is about facing challenges of human society, and we are committed to providing an open and inclusive solutions, and it's the platform for the solutions. So we will continue our efforts in terms of inviting Expo in Busan.
That was South Korea's 29th cabinet meeting of this year on the government recovery plan for the rain damage, as well as President Yoon Suk-yeol's Europe trip. We'll bring you more details in our next newscast at 12 p.m. Korea time. Thanks for watching.